The thumbnail says it all, doesn't it? Winter is coming. Or more appropriately, winter is here, boys and girls. But is that going to keep you from riding your motorcycle? Okay, for some of you, yeah, maybe it is. And if you fall into that camp, make sure you winterize your bike. But that's a video for another day. Today, we're gearing up to brave those freezing temperatures and talk about the cold weather riding essentials that you can't live without. So let's go. Riding in the extreme cold is not for the faint of heart, but for those of us who are passionate about hitting the open road, it's a reality we have to face head on. And trust me, it's not just about layering up and hoping for the best. There's a whole lot more to it than that. See, as riders, we're already vulnerable to the elements, but when you throw in freezing temperatures and icy roads and howling winds, that's a whole different ballgame. That's why it is crucial for us to stay prepared with the right gear and the right knowledge to stay safe and comfortable on the road under those conditions. And let's be real, who doesn't love the thrill of riding in the wintertime? Okay, fair enough. Once again, not everybody loves riding in cold weather, but there is something special about feeling that rush of adrenaline as you carve up a wintry road and feel that crisp air invigorating your senses. And nothing beats that sense of accomplishment when you finally make it to your destination. So let's start at the start. You got to stay warm. First and foremost, that means you're going to want to plan out some layers. That's the name of the game here. Nothing too bulky, but multiple light to medium weight items that you can easily shed as the temperatures change throughout the day. For example, we're talking about some kind of base layer, preferably something like a warm absorbent undershirt, or better yet, maybe a moisture wicking Under Armour kind of fabric that's going to keep your skin dry. Then you want an insulated mid layer. Something like your standard set of long johns works perfect here. Then you want what I would colloquially call your street clothes, whatever you want that to be. And then finally an outer windproof layer that can withstand the harshest of winds. This will be your armored leather jacket or maybe a insulated windbreaker. And the crucial keywords here being windproof. Specifically a jacket that's going to keep the cold air out, but also the warm air in. And some of them even have clever features like adjustable cuffs or drawstrings so that you can cinch those openings and not let air creep in. And let us not forget, you're not sitting still on your bike, so make sure you don't forget about and plan for that wind chill. If you're riding around in 35-degree weather, trucking down the road at 60, 65 miles per hour, guess what? Your body is actually thinking it's 17 degrees outside. And if you're not properly geared, that can be downright dangerous. Now, when you're riding in extreme cold, one of the biggest challenges you're going to face is the loss of feeling in your extremities. Your fingers and toes will start to numb, making it difficult to operate your bike's controls. And even your judgment can be impaired when you're too cold. So you want to make sure to keep your little tootsies safe with a good pair of thermal socks. You'd be amazed at how much of a difference they can make. Your feet will stay warm and dry, even in the most extreme of conditions. And you want to make sure you're able to continue safely operating your vehicle by having a good set of insulated, non-perforated gloves. And if you ride with phone navigation, make sure you keep an eye out for a pair with phone touch. In my experience, thick, warm winter gloves often do not come with phone touch, but some definitely do, so keep an eye out for it if that's something that is important to you. That takes care of your body, but we definitely don't want to gloss over the importance of having a good helmet on top of your lid. In extreme cold, your helmet is your lifeline. Look for one with a comfortable fit that won't let the cold air in. If it's particularly cold, maybe pair it up with a thermal helmet liner like a balaclava or a neck gaiter. And that is a perfect segue to go straight into the next thing we want to talk about, which is visibility. You want a full face helmet with as windproof a visor as you can get, because you don't want cold wind seeping in through cracks and crevices. But the end result of that is that when you start all that huffing and puffing inside that snug helmet with all your vents closed, before you know it, all you can see is moisture 2 inches in front of your face from your fogged up visor. And that's why you preferably want a helmet with a pin lock insert. So you can pop that sucker in there and create a nice double paned visor that's going to resist constant fogging. And that brings us to the hidden dangers that abound whenever visibility is a major concern. In severely cold weather, there is always an increased risk of accidents. When the roads are slippery and the visibility is low, it's a recipe for disaster. One wrong move and you could be kissing the pavement, or worse. If you're crazy enough to be out riding in the actual falling snow or ice, you could find yourself in a whiteout situation, making it nearly impossible to see what's ahead. And the last thing you want is to be caught off guard by a sudden ice patch or a hidden pothole. And even if those winter skies are crystal clear, you have to keep yourself vigilant for things like black ice on the road, or places that easily freeze over and stay that way, like heavily shaded areas or bridges. let's talk about some bonus items that could really up your winter riding game if you want to pursue them and invest in them. One would be heated gear. You can get a heated jacket, heated gloves, heck, you can even get heated socks. Imagine being able to just ride for hours on end without having to worry about your fingers and toes freezing up on you. That's a game changer. And there are a lot of brands out there that offer heated gear. But like most motorcycle gear, getting good, reliable heated gear, it's going to be a significant investment. And let's also not forget about some other little things you might consider, like handguards to deflect the wind, heated seat pads, and thermal liners for your boots. And this may seem obvious, but adding a windshield helps a lot against the cold if you don't already have one mounted. If you have a bike with heated grips, hey, that's just an added bonus. These may all seem like small additions, but they can make a huge difference in your overall safety and comfort. Another bonus item you might consider is knee warmers. The parts of your body that don't move are the ones that get the brunt of the cold wind, like your hands on the grips and also the front of your knees. They may look a little funny, but strapping on a pair of knee warmers can make your ride a lot more enjoyable in the cold. And don't neglect your bike. If you're running your bike in the extreme cold, you want to take special care to keep it well maintained. Tire pressure goes down when it's cold. Make sure you're running with the correct inflation. Metal, plastic, and rubber, these things all become harder and more brittle the colder it gets. And fluids thicken, so make sure you let your bike get good and warmed up before you set off. And if your bike is liquid cooled, ensure you have plenty of antifreeze in that radiator. Brake pads can also harden and become less effective in the cold weather. This reduces friction and makes for longer stopping distances, potentially increasing your risk of accidents. Furthermore, if you're running sticky summer tires, those bad boys can harden up and become as slick as ice. So you need to make sure you let your rubber warm up on the road before you even think about riding aggressively. Slow down, be smooth with your inputs, avoid sudden turns, and make sure you have plenty of space to stop. And lastly, you want to keep your bike clean. Riding in winter conditions can expose your bike to road salt and other corrosive chemicals that your area may use to treat those icy roads. But look, don't let all this scare you off. Like we said, with the right gear and the right knowledge, you can conquer even the most extreme cold weather riding conditions. It's all about the little things. It's about being aware and prepared for what's coming your way, having the right mindset, and having the right gear to back you up. Riding in cold weather can be challenging, but it can also be a lot of fun. So don't let the cold weather stop you from enjoying the ride. Now I know what you're thinking, all this gear, it's gonna break the bank. But trust me, it's worth every penny. When you're out on the road and the temperature starts plummeting, you're gonna be glad you invested in the right stuff. And I'll reiterate, it's not just about the gear, it's also about the knowledge. Knowing how to ride in the extreme cold, how to stay safe, and how to troubleshoot common problems is just as important as having the right gear. So let's recap. When it comes to extreme cold weather riding essentials, we're talking thermal layers, good winter gloves, a wind and fog resistant helmet, and windproof jackets. We're talking about recognizing the hidden dangers on the road and making sure your machine is well maintained. Just like in the Boy Scouts, it's all about being prepared, staying safe, and having the right knowledge to tackle anything the winter roads throw your way. So gang, what's your experience with extreme cold weather riding? Have you got any tips or tricks to share? Let everybody know about it in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to check out all our other awesome motorcycle content. In the meantime, we'll keep bringing you guys along on our rides. And until then, we'll see you in the next one.